Hello, Robbie.
Hi,
How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Outstanding. So glad to have you here. Are you ready?
Yes, Dr. Beth, let's go.
Let's 5, 4, 3, 2. Have at it.
Well, it's great. It's great to be here with everyone. I didn't know if this was going to be like a question and answer session, but if not, then I'm happy just to, share with each and every one of you my thoughts. We're in a very difficult time in our country right now. I've definitely got a political background and have been in leadership roles throughout my adult professional career as a college football coach, head football coach. In fact, made history as the very first NCAA Division I head football coach, white head football coach of a historically black college, and that was in Savannah at Savannah State University. But I look at what's going on in this world, and yes, I'm bald, and it's quite a neat story that I shared with one of the individuals that's actually on this Zoom meeting right now, and that's Ken Roshan. um, my my haircut actually was an accident, guys. I was coaching at the University of South Carolina years ago, and I was just a young coach, and I kept it in a flat top back then. This is back in the year Y2K in 2000, and I would actually cut my own hair. And I had been since college because when you're a college kid, you want to save as much money as you can. And it just didn't make sense to a young college kid with no money to go spend $12 every 2 weeks. So that was 24 a month. And I was like, well, if I can go get some clippers, because I was watching this lady cut my hair, I said, I think I can do that. And I learned how. So I was saving all that money. But fast forward to Y2K, I was in the coach's locker room and I was shaving my head up real nice, with the clippers and whatnot. And somebody came around the corner and startled me, and it went zoom, and it went to the scalp. And I was like, oh no, because we were getting ready to head to the beach. The coaches were to Myrtle Beach. And I was like, you know what? This isn't going to work because I will be the laughing stock for the whole weekend that we were down at the beach. So I just shaved it all off, went to the beach, got a tan. And then when I came back, everybody was like, that's your look. And so since then, this has been my look, guys. And it's kind of a signature look. My mother, she's 91 years old. God bless her. And she's a retired preacher's wife. She asked me all the time, she said, do you think you're ever going to let your hair grow back out? And I was like, well, probably not, because this is kind of my signature now. But anyway, that's how I got bald. And it really, if you want to know the truth, there's a difference between being a bald headed guy and being a shaved head guy. I could grow a head full of hair if I wanted to. So there's a difference between Ken Roshan and me, just to let y'all know that. Ken has no choice, I don't think. But anyway, with that being said, let's get back to what's going on in our country right now. I don't know if anybody's talked about, what everybody's thinking right now with Charlie Kirk and the tragic events that occurred this past Wednesday. But my heart is heavy. My heart's heavy for our country because it's almost like our sense of humanity has eroded away. And it has for probably about 33, I'd say right at 33 years now since the internet came on board. And then all of a sudden we start getting desensitized to things. And all the gun violence in the schools across the country, and really just gun violence in different public settings as far as that is concerned. But as a former educator, as a former football coach, I can remember exactly where I was. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, driving in my car when a special report came on the radio. This is December 2012, and it was a breaking story about a shooting in Newtown, Connecticut at Sandy Hook Elementary School. And these are babies. These are 6, 7-year-old kids that were just gunned down. And I got tears in my eyes because that could have been my class. It could have been my students. It could have been me. It could have been one of my colleagues. It could have been their class. And I've always been one in a leadership position. Whenever there is a major problem, I've always been one that wanted to step back, take a pause, and see if there's any sort of common sense solution that we can come up together with as a people. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, young or old, male or female, a member of the LGBTQ community, whatever your religion may be, because the fact of the matter is we are all Americans. We can embrace our differences because we do have that one common bond. And it's time for us, in my humble opinion, to lay aside those differences and start working for some common sense solutions in this world. And that's something that I am trying to do. And I did. I came up with a plan when I took that pause back in 2012, 13 years ago. And that plan is called Vets for Kids. And it takes care of three problems in our country right now. And it protects, you know, for those that are gun rights activists, it protects their Second Amendment right. And at the same time, it would protect every child in every school across this country by eliminating the gun violence. And at the same time, it would employ about 500,000 veterans across this country, people that have laid it on the line for you and me. We'll screen them, we'll train them, we'll put these veterans back to work in our schools as guardians for our children. But I've always said that the greatest asset of our nation here in the United States or any country is the people. And the greatest asset of the people is our youth, because they are our future. They're our future leaders, they're our future ministers, they're our future doctors, lawyers. They're our future inventors that are going to come up with great plans that are going to cure AIDS, that's going to cure cancer. So we need to protect our future. We need to truly invest in our future. And I believe that this is a way that we could do it. So I've been talking to people about that. Just, you know, putting aside our differences, finding some common bonds, building some bridges instead of building walls. Because I truly believe that as leaders, when things don't go right, instead of pointing the finger and casting the blame at the other side, whatever the other side is, really, we're all Americans. So it's really one side. But instead of pointing the finger and casting the blame at someone else when you're in a leadership position, a true leader will take responsibility. But when things go right, a true leader doesn't take the credit. He gives all the praise to everybody that works with him to accomplish whatever the goal is. And I've always said that adversaries can become allies. Adversaries can become allies when they can find a common bond and a common goal to go after and achieve. This is one of those, and it's a hot topic right now, and I understand that. And again, my heart's heavy. My heart's very heavy. And a lot of people on this call, maybe y'all are saying, you know what, this is not the right time to talk about that. But when is? When is the right time? I truly believe that we've got to get back to loving each other. We've got to get back to supporting each other and sitting down with each other, whether we look the same or whether we do not look the same, whether we agree on religion or whether we don't agree on religion, whether we agree on politics or whether we don't agree on politics. Let's sit down. Let's have true conversations. Just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that you have to hate them. Think about it. You've got family members that you don't agree with on everything. You have squabbles, you have little fights within your family, but guess what? You still love your brother. You still love your sister. And here in this country, I believe it's the same thing. Because deep down, we've got a whole lot more in common than we do in differences.
Absolutely.
And so that's basically all I had to say today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Robby. What power there. You said, take a pause. Take a pause.
Yeah.
And that's something that I believe we should all do on a daily basis, particularly in today's climate. Take a pause. Be intentional with stopping and not being overwhelmed with what's going on, but being underwhelmed with the peace, getting under the peace, getting under the place of safety in your heart and in your spirit. Because when it starts from your heart, it goes the furthest. You also said, lay aside differences. You stated, we're more alike than we are different. Focus on the future. When we keep our eyes on the future, we can only go forward and to find common bonds. When you seek, you will find. When you seek, you will find it. If you're not seeking, you won't be finding. So, in all of that, just thank you so much for sharing your heart and your perspective. And tell us where we can champion you, where we can celebrate you and connect with you and what you're doing.
Well, you can go to my website, and when I'm running for office, and I've run for president a couple of times. When I'm running for office, it's a political campaign site, but when it's not, it's geared more towards my speaking. So right now it's more of a speaking website, and that's riseupwithrobby.com, and spell Robby with a Y. Riseupwithrobby.com. You can also go on Barnes and Noble and get my book, Touchdown America. And it's just a
Fantastic.
memoir, and I'm proud of it. I think it's a great read.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And BaldAthon is excited and the better for your contribution. Keep being bald.
Well, thank you so much. I really do
You are
appreciate it, Dr.
welcome.
Beth.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Sprinkles.